Have you ever played the game I Spy? We play it a lot, especially when we're in situations that are a little boring, like say we're waiting for food at a restaurant or something. Now, the way that we play the game is that the person who's the spy has to pick an object out of the room and say, I spy with my little eye something that begins with the letter K, or something that's red, for example. The people who are playing the game who aren't the spy have to ask a series of follow up questions in the form of yes or no questions, and they have to try to determine what the thing is within 20 questions total. So it's a combination of I Spy and 20 questions. The rules may vary depending on households, but this is how we play. So I'm going to show you a technique using mathematics that will make this game so easy. I guarantee you're going to win every time, pretty much guarantee. The way that this works is that you're, instead of asking questions like trying to narrow down what the object is, we're going to try to figure out where it is instead. Each time we're going to stand roughly in the middle of the room and we're going to ask a question like, is the object in front of me? We get a yes or no answer to that question. Now we've cut the search area in half. So if they say yes, it's in front of us, then we move into the space in front of us and then we cut it in half again. Maybe we'll go this way. Or you can say, is it to my right, for example? And if the person says yes, then okay, we now know it's in this section. Now we've divided the search area into a quarter and we're only 2 questions in. Now the power of this technique is that you keep dividing the search area in half every time, and this adds up really fast. So let me show you how it works on a piece of paper, or I'll show you on this whiteboard here. We're going to draw a line roughly down the center. So this is where we're standing. We're going to ask the question, is the object in front of me, for example? We'll say this is in front. If the answer is yes, then we've narrowed down the search area in half. We've already cut it in half. So we'll say it is. So we cut that area in half again. And now we're here. And we say, oh, our head. And we ask ourselves, is it in front of me? Let's say the answer is yes again. It doesn't matter where the object is. It's just, this is for illustration purposes. So we'll keep track. This is our first question here. And when we get the answer, we've cut the area in half there. Now, in the second try, we've cut the area in half again. Now, if you haven't multiplied fractions before, real quick, this 1/2 times 1/2. Multiplication of fractions is pretty simple. You just multiply the top two and you multiply the bottom two. So when you multiply the top two, you just get 1 again, and you multiply the bottom two, you get 4. So that's how you do that. It's a lot easier than addition of fractions. So moving on, now we know that that's 1/4 from our calculation. Now we're going to cut this in half again. And now this is our third attempt, and we'll say it's over here. And now we're at 1/4 times 1/2 again is 2 times 4 is 8. So we get 1/8. Now we ask the question again. And we're again cutting it in half. So now we get down to 1/16. Now we're on question 5.
A few moments later.
So now we've cut this entire area into 1,000 pieces, and we've narrowed it down to one individual one. So we're narrowing in, we're getting really close to where this object might be. Maybe we've already found it actually, and in only 10 questions. Depends on how big the object is, and it depends on how much stuff is in the space that we're looking for. So if we keep doing this, I'm not going to do all the calculations for this, but what we can see is there's a pattern happening. First we get 1/2, then we get 1 times 2 times 2, then 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, then 1 over 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times. There's a special way of writing this. So for each one, we're doing 1 divided by, I'm going to put a dot, dot, dot here. We're dividing by 2, and we're going to raise this to a power. Raising something to a power means that we're just multiplying that many times. So when we're here, we're multiplying 2 twice. So it's 2 to the power of 2. This is written like this, 1 over 2 to the 2. These two are the same. It's getting a little cluttered. So for every number that we count, we're going to use the letter n to mean the number that we're on. So this formula, actually, we can find a general formula, and that is 1 over 2 to the n. And we have 20 questions to go. When we narrow it down, if we get to 20 questions, we're going to get to 1 over 2 to the 20th power, which I'm sorry I don't remember off the top of my head, so I'm going to write this little squiggly equals, which means approximately. It is approximately 1 over a million. So you will find the object, guaranteed. I will tell you how precise this gets. You can cover a baseball field, a professional baseball field, the entire thing you can cover with baseballs, and the person can pick out one specific baseball in an entire field and you will find it. If I take an area that's 1 meter by 1 meter, or if you're in America, 3 feet by 3 feet like this, you can cover that with sand and find an individual grain of sand. How about that? If you try this rule out, I guarantee it's not going to be allowed anymore because it's just too powerful.